Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. Temperatures, well, we're waving goodbye to those 70s out there. We'll see a lot of 30s, maybe even some 20s in a few spots. Bottom line is, well, hello to temperatures less than 70. Hey, more details on how low we go and chance of snow. No intention on rhyming that, but that's what we ended up doing there. Sorry about that. Your forecast next. But first, hey, do you have a commercial project in mind? Please keep my friends at Robert Gibbons Sons in mind. Because over 100 years, they've been providing quality service with quality equipment and quality technicians. Get that job done right the first time. Now let's talk about our temperature change today. Oh my goodness. You know what? Throughout the day today, that cold air spilling in from the north and west had a lot of blue over us. So this map here showing that we definitely cooled off. Those are temperatures that are lower than yesterday at this time. I picked the 4 o'clock hour because that's when some of the biggest changes were noticeable. In the oil patch, Minot to Williston had Pedro shaking. It was 35 degrees colder there than yesterday. In the central part of the state, the James River Valley, about 25 to 26 degrees colder. And by the time we hit the afternoon, we were on our way down 24 degrees colder than yesterday at this time. And here's a look at what's going on right now. As is always the case, I invite you to drop a note here. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you do have some observations about the weather in your area, particularly in northern Minnesota tonight, if you happen to see a flake, then maybe you could snap a shot and upload it at hutchesweather.com. All right, let's take a look at some of the feedback with regards to our temperatures. First and foremost, it's really pouring in from the north and from the west, where we're already in the 30s up there, just north of, say, the Walhalla area right now. Netchie, Langdon at 41 degrees. Belcourt, you have 39, 43 in Harvey. Minot, 43. And looking out towards Tioga, 39 degrees there, 45 out in Garrison. Then as we look here in the Red River Valley, Grand Forks is at 47, holding on to 49 degrees here in the Southern Valley, 52 out there in Wahpeton, Fergus Falls, 53 degrees. And look at that, Waskish, 50-degree reading. How about the northern part of Minnesota? There's Warroad at 43 degrees. Hallock, you have 44. It's 43 in Roseau, and Badette. Ooh-wee, 46 degrees. Look at the heat. Looks like it's on near the Twin Cities. Still 70s there. So here's the picture. South winds keeping things warm here, but the cold front moving, changing those wind directions to northwesterly, and temperatures are spilling southward. Brainerd, you right on that line as we head into the evening hours with regards to this. The air is drier as well coming out of Canada. Taking a look at some of the dew points that we have now. Typically this time of the year, dew points are in the 40s and they're dropping all the way into those 30s out there. That's extremely dry air. And when we see 20s, that's not atypical for the mountainous terrain of Montana, but that air cools fairly quickly, being so dry, and it can heat up. That's where we get those sayings. It's a dry heat or it's a dry cold. So those things do definitely matter. And again, let's take a look at what's going on the radar, because we did have some passing showers make their way through the region today. Now they are spreading out towards Duluth, the North Shore. We do see some activity not far from you folks out in the areas of South Dakota. See, here it goes. I think it might be trying to load in. So let's go ahead and get to the latest scan here. Okay, so we do have a couple of sprinkles showing up across greater Minnesota, northwest portions of the state. Near the Twin Cities, it looks like there is some green showing up on the radar. Not a lot likely reaching the ground. Now, what's happening here? We have temperatures that we showed you up near the international border are near those 30s out there. And what that means is it won't take much more cooling for some of this nonsense that's just very light to turn into a few flakes of snow. That's right. So let's take a look at that forecast, shall we, as we pull that up for you right over here. And basically, we're going to be watching for that chance for some things to really cool down as we head through the overnight hours. Here's what you need to know as we set this into motion for the night tonight. Your forecast looks like this. Now, we're going to see the clouds being persistent, mainly in Minnesota, and that's where the better chance of having a few flakes of snow streaming across will be. You see these light chances of rain here and there, most of us staying dry, but we could have some spotty sprinkles as we go into the deep hours of the overnight. Now, anywhere where we get temperatures down to around 38 or 39 degrees, we could see a brief flake mixing in as we go towards daybreak. So the best chance will be in northern Minnesota, in toward the Arrowhead out there, Hibbing, Grand Rapids, points out towards Bemidji and the Red Lake area, all the way out towards Baudette and Roseau County. This is out of here. Tomorrow, decreasing clouds across Minnesota. However, clouds building in out to the west as our next hiccup in the weather works its way into our general direction. So please keep that in mind. Look at the rain showers out in Montana out there. And that's a look at your forecast for that particular time crunch there. So here's a look at your hutchesweather.com page. And again, I do want to remind you, if you go onto the page, well, the fall colors, they're getting to be past peak right about now, but we still have that link up there for you. Thanks to Joe for putting that up there, making things very easy for us. You can always get your forecast, and make sure you let hutchesweather.com follow your location. And do you see this little box right here? This is where I would love to have you enter your email, and then I can send you email alerts when something very active or very important is going on in the weather. There will be no spam, just the weather. And I do not share email addresses. Now, here's that latest radar. You can scan around on hutchesweather.com there. Here are the latest updates. If you see a headline that you happen to miss, click on it, watch the video. And again, down at the bottom of the page, well, there's some excitement there. Hutch's Weather Kid, the next version coming up on Thursday night. I can't wait to introduce you to the next Weather Kid here in Hutch's Weather Kid lineup, proudly presented by my friends at Luther Family Ford. And here is the fun, where your photos have been coming in. So if you do happen to get some photos tonight, check some of these babies out that have been uploaded throughout the day today. A lot of you, I asked for some fun from the Halloween shots. You uploaded those, and look at the beautiful sky shots, the clouds out there. This little bit of a rainbow there out in the Glencoe area. So there were some showers that were passing through the skies of southeast portions of Minnesota tonight as we headed into the evening. Beth Ann, thank you so very, very much for sharing your upload there. Now another look at Kitson County. Stark difference. Look at no leaves left on those trees from our wind, and beautiful colors on there, from the nice warm looking oranges to the crisp blue. Tracy, thank you for your view there. This is when you were out for a drive, it says. So thank you for uploading. And of course, we have the Halloween fun as well. So now, no matter if you're sharing pictures like Greg is here in the southwest part of Valley City of the neighbors' gorgeous decorations out there, or it's nature and weather, I want to see those. And again, if you do get some flakes, let us know. There's a chance of seeing a couple of those. Again, that's hutchesweather.com. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of other things, and let me see if you do have any questions, because I do like to keep my eyes on that. Karen, thank you very much. You know, there is a chance for some late week, next week, a chance for some snowflakes. And this could be more robust, because this is a Colorado Rocky system that will be moving out. So what I will do is take you to the very latest and show you what we have going on here. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this model rendition, and this will be what we end with. And this is for our area. Let me go to the American model, and we'll go ahead and highlight what's going on with this American model with regards to our look ahead. And here we go. Okay, so this is loading up right now. Now, these models have been showing chances of snow in our area on again, off again as we go into the week next week. So what you need to know looks like this. First and foremost, here is our area. Here's the cold air pooling up in Canada for today, and it stays there. Now, we do get a little brief warm up here where you see these red lines. That's a warm burst or bubble of air working its way in on south winds out ahead of our next system. This is on your day on Thursday as we go through. So a nice little warm up briefly, and then a little weather wiggle working its way through mainly parts of Minnesota there. That'll be where we'll have a chance for a few sprinkles, as I talked about, moving into your Thursday. Then as we go into Friday, capping off the work week, here is some sagging cold air once again with a cold high pressure system moving in. This will keep us pretty cool as we go through the weekend. Now, here's where things get interesting, because as we go into next week, we're looking at Sunday night here. Low pressure develops in the Rockies. This starts a southerly flow in the Central Plains. And remember, this is where most of the moisture comes from our fancy weather making systems that do bring a chance for some more appreciable moisture to our area. If the south wind hangs around for a couple of days, well, then we say the Gulf is open for business. The Gulf of Mexico, that is. And this is the case. So on Sunday, we have that south wind drawing on that Gulf moisture. It lasts into Monday, and that's going to allow for some moisture to make its way into place. Notice what's happening out in the Rocky Mountain West, low pressure developing out there. Now, when that happens, and as this low moves out, it's going to be drawing on moisture from the Gulf and mixing in cold air behind it. So we know we'll have elevated terrain snow potential with this system. But each model run has had this low right here coming out of different places. Does it come out of Colorado and move this way? Does it come out of Wyoming and move towards us? They're changing their mind each and every day. Here's the very latest on the most recent model run for you as we let this puppy move through. Notice what's exiting out of Wyoming, a chance of snow, and it releases into the northern plains as rain. But here is some pretty gusty north winds behind this. So could there be an area on the boundary here in North Dakota that gets that rain falling as snow? In my experience, it depends largely on the time of day that this is happening. Notice we're heading into the evening or overnight hours here. So as we go from our Wednesday and possibly, Tuesday night and into Wednesday, a few of us could see some snow mixing in. Now, other models have different stories here. So we've oftentimes compared that European model, and let me show you what it's showing as we get into that time frame. Again, this is quite a ways out yet, and the models will change their mind. So I'm not saying this is Hutch's forecast, and I'm not saying go gas up the snowblower and be ready. But is it going to bring a first measurable snow for some area? The European model right here has this low releasing out. The date here is on Tuesday as we go through the morning hours. So there's a timing difference. And the morning hours means it could be cold enough for some places to get mixed precipitation, is what the European model says, mainly in northern Minnesota. So that said, that's two models that we've looked at. Do we want to look at one more? Why not? Let's go ahead and take a look. Now, this one earlier is the Canadian model, and the Canadian model was showing us a chance for some snow. So here we go, zipping on out as we get into the, oh my goodness, look at this. So now you're getting into that low pressure system developing in the Colorado Rockies. Gulf is open for business, bringing moisture northward into the northern plains. And this model says, yep, big time rain potential across the much needed area of Minnesota that needs rain and a chance for some flakes. But this is on Thursday morning, a day later. So the models is what we take away. The models do not have a consensus on it, but three models do show a stormy pattern moving out of the Rockies, bringing at least a chance of rain, and for some, possibly that mixing with and changing over to some snow, and it could be measurable if it comes with a Colorado low. Will it be a lot? I don't think so. So that's what we're looking at. All right, that's a look. Thank you very much for watching. Barbara, it's good to have you on board. Let's see it. I'm trying to read some of these. Appreciate you watching, and I'm glad that you find these useful and helpful, these updates. Thank you very much. Tom watching from beautiful Ellendale, North Dakota. Glencoe joining in, BA, thank you very much, and thank you for uploading your picture too. That's very much appreciated. Hi from Cullum. 45, but it feels colder. Do we have to start dragging out the old wind chill chart? You bet. And Gary says, hi from Hudson, Wisconsin. A little warmer down there. Yeah, we saw that warmth spreading into the Twin Cities. Still mid-70s there at this time. Rita, thank you for watching in Bemidji, or this time of the year, many people refer to it as Bemidji, but I don't. All right, that's a look at what's going on across the area. Now I do want to leave you with this. Coming up soon, we're going to have another Weather Kid this week. I hope you could tune in on Thursday to meet that wonderful kid. I can't wait to introduce you to Hutch's Weather Kid later in the week. And again, we'd love to have you sign up as well. So if you know a kid who might be interested in helping Hutch figure out our wild weather, then by golly, Hutch wants you. That's right. I want you to sign up. Let me get you the information here that you need to get signed up to be a Hutch's Weather Kid, as we are getting a little bit farther along in the Weather Kid season here. So here's what you can do. Here we go. Here's what you can do to sign up to be a Hutch's Weather Kid. Oops, I got to click one more button. I'm sorry, I've got 7 buttons going on here. Okay, so here we go. You can head on over to my fine sponsors at Luther Family Ford during normal business hours. They're located at I-29 and the 32nd Avenue exit. Or you can head over to hutchesweather.com and sign up right there. Love to have you on board. If you know a kid who might be interested in helping me do the weather, learn a little bit about weather, learn about talking about the weather, and learn how to point at the green screen. It's a lot of fun, especially when it's green. All right, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. We'll touch bases again soon. But until then, have a wonderful night.